right, NFL fans, here are my picks for this week's divisional round games. First up, we have Tennessee at Baltimore. Titans running back Derrick Henry led the league in rushing yards and rushing TDs, and he's posted 7 100-yard rushing games, including 180 or more yards in his last 2 games. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill has thrown at least 1 TD pass in 11 straight games, and since Week 7, the Titans have averaged a league-leading 406 yards per game. But make no mistake, the Ravens are the best team in the league. Having 12 players named to the Pro Bowl isn't some kind of fluke. Like any other sensible person, I'm taking Baltimore. Next up, we have Houston at Kansas City. It took a huge comeback in overtime for the Texans to pull out their win over the Bills. It's doubtful that's going to work this week against the Chiefs. Where the Bills' defense was better than KC's, the Chiefs' offensive line and talent sprinkled throughout is a cut above, and no doubt they'll give Houston a lot more fits than what they had versus Buffalo. That plays right into Andy Reid's hands. He wants to force the Texans into a shootout. That takes away Houston's running game and pressures their O-line into making mistakes. I'll take the Chiefs. Minnesota at San Francisco. The Vikings need to do exactly what they did last week in their win over the Saints, and that's feed Dalvin Cook the ball. That'll soften the coverage, enabling Cousins to spread the ball about with gobs and gobs of delayed screens to annoy Frisco's defense. Doing so will allow the Norsemen to keep eating up the clock and keep their defense well rested going into the fourth quarter. You know, I really want to go with San Francisco, but it just seems like everything is coming together for the Vikings at precisely the right time. I'll take Minnesota. And finally, we have Seattle at Green Bay. Both teams are identical in every aspect. Each have bruising running games, dangerous big play receiving cores, and of course quarterbacks Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, neither of which need any introduction. Normally in this situation, I always go for the team that is more likely to create more turnovers and sacks, and in both cases, that advantage goes to the Packers. Also factor in that the game is in Green Bay. It's a pretty safe bet that the Packers will win this game. I'll take the Cheeseheads.
Hi folks, I'm Mike Britt, inviting you to join us at Poe's Pub, located at 2706 East Main Street for Richmond's best burgers and ribs, including the Goose's favorite, the Commonwealth Burger. Check out our weekly events, full menu, and more by visiting our website at poespub.com or call 804-648-2120. That's 648-2120.
Since 1985, Richmond Recycling has been one of Mid-Atlantic's premier recycling centers. One of the reasons for their success is they pay top dollar for your scrap metals, batteries, converters, appliances, and electric motors. Richmond Recycling is doing their part to preserve our resources by their collection services and by bringing public awareness. So, fill up that pickup truck and head on over to Richmond Recycling. They're located at 2500 Decatur Street, just minutes from Interstate 64 and 95. Or you can give them a call at 804-230-9221 or visit the website at richmondrecyclingvirginia.com.
Hey, how's it going? Michael Remus here representing Canada. I'm also the defending champion. I'm happy to be here on the NFL Soapbox. First, I got to give a shout out to myself for being the 3-time defending champion of the International Fantasy Football League. This year was probably the most special. I ran the table, went undefeated the whole season. Had a bit of luck with matchups, but also made some good coaching decisions, most importantly in the finals, benching Dak Prescott, who was questionable with a shoulder injury, for Ryan Tannehill, who I picked up off waivers, who just had a fantastic season, and he'll be in the playoffs moving on this week. But let's go into the Super Bowl. If I had to make my picks after the wild card round, I think it's hard to go against Baltimore, who's looked unbelievable this year with Lamar Jackson, maybe the most dynamic player in the NFL. He can run, he can throw. Baltimore looks absolutely unstoppable on the AFC side. On the NFC, maybe it's recency bias, but I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. They're the closest team to where I live in Winnipeg, just 8 hours south in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I really like the way they looked. If their offense can get figured out like it did against New Orleans today, they really have a shot. And if they can stop Drew Brees at home, they can stop anybody. So it was an incredible performance by Minnesota. They're the closest team to where I live. A lot of Vikings fans around here in Winnipeg. So I'm gonna go pick the Vikings and the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Thanks a lot, Brian, for putting this together.
What's up, guys? Corey Proctor here, former Dallas Cowboy team Proctor, right here in the heart, the belt buckle of the Bible Belt in America. Dallas, Texas is where we're at. All right, sitting here, I'm giving my 2 cents on who I think is going to be in the Super Bowl, and this is who I think it's going to be. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to play the Baltimore Ravens, and it's going to be an awesome game. Battle of the quarterbacks running around, scrambling. Offenses are going to be on fire. I believe, as much as I want my original hometown Seahawks to win the game, my gut feeling is going to be Baltimore is going to pull this thing out, and they're going to win it all. That's just my feeling. I want the Hawks as badly as I do because I'm from the Seattle area myself in Washington State, the Pacific Northwest, PNW, but I think the Ravens are going to take it. I think it's going to happen. But I hope this helps somebody. I hope it gives you a little love. Probably Baltimore celebrating that little tidbit from me. But I hope you guys are good. Stay safe. God bless. Bye.
Every time you hear this sound, you know EMS and law enforcement are at work saving lives and keeping our community safe. Southern Police Equipment is doing their part by supplying civil and city servants with the latest in protective clothing, footwear, gear, and accessories. For more information, stop on by Southern Police Equipment, located at 7609 Midlothian Turnpike, or give them a call at 1-800-542-5243. You can also order by catalog by logging on to southernpoliceequipment.com.
This is my video for the International Fantasy Football League. Looking ahead to the games this weekend for the divisional rounds. I feel personally it would be the NFC if there's going to be any upsets this weekend. Minnesota going to San Francisco after getting an upset win against the Saints last week. I feel that they could do that again with the personnel they've got on their team. Looking at the Seattle Green Bay game, again I think Seattle could push past the Packers. Going over to the AFC, I see both Baltimore and the Kansas City Chiefs winning them games.
Estás bien nerviosa. Súper nerviosa. Súper nerviosa. Mételo. ¡Sí! ¡30!
冲球的很凶。